I'm going to zoom in on that here in a second. And then you can see him walking out on his phone behind the tent. Charlie is getting loaded into the van, and Micky is seen over here, back turned on the phone. This is weird, right? But even weirder is this. Zooming in closer, Micky's reaction right when Charlie was shot. Look, he pulls his phone out to his ear without even pressing any buttons. Watch closely. Arms folded, phone right to his ear.
Alleged leaked messages connected to Micky McCoy have intensified online discussions surrounding a broader narrative involving Charlie Kirk. Reports circulating on social platforms claim that the messages were released by McCoy's spouse and may introduce contradictions that challenge previously accepted timelines. At the center of the controversy is Erika Kirk, who is alleged by online commentators to be attempting to limit further dissemination of the material. The circulating footage is described as unusual and has prompted speculation about behavior patterns and prior knowledge.
Is that Micky McCoy, the chief of staff of Turning Point USA, Micky McCoy, for whatever reason, he always requires an adjective. Whenever they discuss Micky McCoy, there's an adjective before they say his name. A bunch of people in the Turning Point USA orbit described Micky McCoy in this very unique manner. I want you to take a listen to that.
Let me tell you who the heroes were in this whole thing. We're going to start with 23-year-old Micky McCoy.
And that's when the great Micky McCoy showed up.
And my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Micky McCoy.
My friend Micky McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day.
I used to be known as Charlie Kirk's pastor. Now I'm known as Micky McCoy's dad.
He clicked into gear eventually.
It was amazing.
Micky was a heroic figure on that day.
Commentary suggests that the release signals a breakdown in internal loyalty, with claims that long-standing efforts to shield private matters have ended. These interpretations remain unverified, but they have fueled sustained attention across digital communities. Additional scrutiny has focused on inconsistencies within the alleged timeline, including references to a vacation that reportedly occurred shortly before a major incident involving Charlie Kirk. While online speculation has labeled the situation as coordinated or internal, no official confirmation has supported those claims. The discussion remains driven largely by interpretation rather than substantiated findings. The situation has evolved into a broader examination of motive, timing, and credibility. Analysts and commentators emphasize that leaked material, when removed from verified context, can amplify confusion rather than clarity. As the narrative continues to circulate, attention remains fixed on whether further documentation emerges or whether legal intervention limits additional disclosures. At present, the claims exist within the realm of allegation and online discourse. No authoritative conclusions have been established, and the situation underscores how rapidly unverified information can shape public narratives before formal validation occurs. Public discussion surrounding the alleged leaks has intensified due to their potential implications. If authentic, the material suggests that individuals within close proximity to Charlie Kirk may have possessed prior awareness of events before the shooting occurred. Examination of the available information has highlighted inconsistencies that continue to raise questions.
Micky, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in. That it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Micky McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Micky didn't have time to dial, okay? You can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file, a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Micky from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know.
Accounts differ, timelines conflict, and prolonged silence from key figures has amplified suspicion rather than easing it. The alleged material attributed to Micky McCoy's spouse has significantly altered public perception of the situation. Context is essential when evaluating these claims. Micky McCoy served as chief of staff at Turning Point USA and was only 23 years old at the time of the incident. Notably, McCoy was standing immediately beside Charlie Kirk when the shooting occurred, placing him at the center of the event. While the broader circumstances surrounding the shooting are widely known, focus has shifted toward McCoy's immediate response. Video footage that circulated rapidly online captured McCoy's actions in the moments following the incident. Observers noted behavior that contrasted sharply with expectations in such a scenario. Rather than rushing toward the victim or seeking cover amid chaos, McCoy was seen calmly walking away while speaking on a phone. This reaction sparked widespread debate, with commentators questioning whether the response aligned with shock, training, or foreknowledge. The footage became a focal point for ongoing analysis, prompting renewed scrutiny of relationships, internal dynamics, and possible communication occurring during the critical moments.
And this is actually, to your point, you saw Mikey do heroic things that day. I saw Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was like my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erika and the team immediately just because, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that, what's happening? My wife came in. She, hugged me. We started crying together.
While no definitive conclusions have been reached, the reaction documented on video continues to fuel speculation. As the alleged leaks remain under examination, attention persists on whether additional evidence will emerge to clarify motive, awareness, or coincidence within this unfolding narrative. Video analysis intensified scrutiny after additional footage surfaced. Zoomed frames show Micky McCoy walking behind a tent with a phone raised to his ear while Charlie Kirk is being loaded into a vehicle. Observers highlighted the contrast between surrounding panic and McCoy's composed movement. Closer inspection appears to show the phone placed to his ear without visible interaction, arms folded, posture calm, and direction purposeful amid visible chaos. The sequence drew attention because of its timing. As people nearby reacted with urgency, running, shouting, and seeking cover, McCoy is seen turning away and walking slowly. The visual juxtaposition prompted online debate about awareness, training, or coincidence. No conclusion has been established, but the imagery fueled further examination of the moment-by-moment timeline captured on video. Additional discussion followed internal messaging after the incident. Statements from Turning Point USA repeatedly attached laudatory descriptors to McCoy's name in public references.
Charlie died, Micky McCoy and his wife Eliza, for the very first time. Now, this is according to Eliza McCoy. She shared that it was the first time ever that they went on vacation. Her and Micky went on vacation with Erika and Charlie. Here's that post on Instagram. That second paragraph begins, "We spent a few weeks together this summer, our first family trip together." Okay, getting real close there. And while they were on this very first time together for a couple of weeks vacation, something moved the McCoys to capture intimate and sweet moments of the Kirk family from behind the scenes. Now, you know which footage I'm talking about. It's the footage that has since gone viral of Charlie walking with his children and Erika. Erika grabs his hand. It's actually a very sweet moment, and it moved a lot of us. People were, I was crying when I first saw this footage a couple of days after Charlie died.
Phrases such as amazing, brilliant, and heroic appeared consistently, which some commentators found unusual given the circumstances. The repetition became a talking point rather than a passing compliment. Candace Owens publicly questioned the pattern, asking why McCoy alone was consistently preceded by adjectives in official remarks. The observation reframed the conversation from isolated footage to narrative framing. As the clip continued circulating, analysts replayed the opening seconds repeatedly, focusing on the phone movement and the initiation of a conversation almost immediately after the shot. The footage itself does not establish intent or foreknowledge. However, the timing, demeanor, and subsequent messaging created a cluster of unanswered questions. As a result, the clip became central to broader discussion about response behavior, internal communications, and perception management following the incident, sustaining attention as additional material continues to be examined. Frame-by-frame breakdowns of the footage intensified scrutiny after timing analysis was introduced. Observers measured approximately 834 milliseconds between the audible gunshot and Micky McCoy raising a phone to his ear. That precision became central because no visible dialing motion occurred. Analysts reviewing multiple camera angles reported no evidence of number entry, screen interaction, or delay consistent with initiating a call under stress.
I don't want you to feel hurt by all these horrible things. We know that you have a responsibility. You're a young man. And I just want you to take a deep breath, like I said, and you know what? Let them spin their conspiracy theories. You're a good kid. You had instructions to call Erika. Charlie had a team that jumped right in there. I know that team. And we just got to move on. We got to push to moving on, and let's get to these midterms.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Bernadette. It's crazy. It's just, I remember taking, the last picture I took of Charlie was at 12:23. I did, in fact, call Erika momentarily afterwards, but thank you, Bernadette. That's very encouraging to hear from you.
You be encouraged, and you keep going, because we need you, and we need that team to take a deep breath and get your pants on and get running.
The timing raised questions due to real-world plausibility. In ordinary circumstances, dialing or activating a call requires measurable interaction. Reviewers stated that repeated angle checks failed to show any such action, prompting further examination rather than conclusion. The discussion expanded beyond footage into post-incident narrative consistency. Attention then shifted to statements made by Erika Kirk during an interview on Fox News with Jesse Waters. Erika Kirk stated that notification of the shooting came through a call from McCoy, received within seconds of the incident while her phone had been on silent during a medical appointment. That account aligned temporally with the footage showing McCoy placing a phone to his ear almost immediately. However, discrepancies emerged when compared with messaging from Turning Point USA. In a separate attempt to address speculation, Andrew Colvett released a video asserting a different sequence of communication events. The contrast between internal explanations and publicly stated timelines intensified debate rather than resolving it. The situation now centers on reconciliation of video evidence, measured timing, and public statements. No definitive conclusion has been reached, but the alignment and divergence between sources have become focal points for ongoing analysis as additional footage and commentary continue to circulate. In a response video, Andrew Colvett stated that Micky McCoy was not engaged in a phone call at the moment of the shooting. The explanation asserted that McCoy raised his hands to his ears due to the volume of the gunshot and appeared disoriented. According to that account, the phone was merely in McCoy's hand and not actively in use. This explanation directly conflicted with prior statements and visual interpretations. The contradiction created a binary conflict. Either Erika Kirk accurately described receiving a call from McCoy within seconds of the incident, aligning with footage showing immediate phone placement, or official messaging from Turning Point USA was accurate, implying a false statement was delivered on national television. Both scenarios cannot simultaneously be true, placing credibility at the center of the dispute. A straightforward method to resolve the uncertainty exists. Release of call logs would establish timestamps, call initiation, and recipients within minutes. Such documentation would conclusively support one narrative. To date, no such records have been publicly produced. The absence of clarification has intensified speculation and extended the lifespan of the controversy rather than containing it. Attention sharpened further following commentary by Candace Owens, who highlighted an event occurring weeks before the shooting. For the first time, the McCoys, Micky and Eliza McCoy, vacationed with Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk. According to Eliza McCoy's own social media post, the trip marked their first family vacation together, spanning several weeks and indicating close personal proximity. During that period, behind-the-scenes footage was captured showing intimate family moments involving the Kirks, including widely circulated clips of Charlie Kirk walking with his children and Erika Kirk.
Example number one, Charlie's very last overseas trip to Korea. This was 4 days before he died. For whatever reason, Micky McCoy felt suddenly inspired to try his luck, miking up Charlie and capturing him on the road. And he says this is the first time he ever did it. Take a listen to Micky McCoy explain that.
The footage resonated emotionally with viewers after later events and was credited to the McCoys' presence during that vacation. The timing of the trip, its unprecedented closeness, and subsequent documentation added another layer to ongoing scrutiny. As analysis continues, the sequence of statements, silence, footage, and timing remains unresolved. The accumulation of inconsistencies has shifted focus away from isolated moments and toward patterns of proximity, access, and narrative control that continue to invite examination. The McCoys began documenting the Kirk family in a manner that extended beyond casual photography. The footage captured intimate behind-the-scenes moments rather than posed or routine images. One particular clip later circulated widely after Charlie Kirk's death, showing him walking with his children while Erika Kirk reaches for his hand. The moment resonated emotionally with viewers and was later identified as having been filmed by Micky McCoy and his wife. Questions arose regarding motivation. During family vacations, footage is typically captured by members of the family themselves, often resulting in someone being absent from the frame. In this instance, the McCoys were positioned as observers, recording the entire Kirk family together from behind the scenes. The framing suggested intentional documentation rather than spontaneous recording, prompting speculation about foresight or coincidence. Additional attention centered on timing. 4 days before Charlie Kirk's death, McCoy filmed him during an overseas trip to Korea. According to McCoy's own statements, this marked the first time such footage had been captured. The proximity between that recording and subsequent events intensified online discussion, particularly because it became the final known informal video of Kirk. The narrative escalated further following the appearance of alleged leaks. Late one evening, an account later associated by users with McCoy's wife released screenshots, audio snippets, and private messages without commentary. The post contained only 3 words: "They all knew." The content spread rapidly, igniting widespread reaction. The screenshots were alleged to depict a private group chat involving McCoy, staff members connected to Turning Point USA, and an individual labeled EK, widely believed to reference Erika Kirk. The messages were brief but alarming, referencing preparation, calmness, rehearsal, and camera positioning. One line drew particular attention: "Erika already knows." A separate voice memo surfaced shortly afterward, featuring a woman expressing fear and guilt while stating that silence was no longer possible. The speaker's identity remains unconfirmed. However, listeners focused on the emotional tone rather than attribution. Notably, timestamps on the leaked material appeared to align closely with previously analyzed footage showing McCoy raising his phone immediately before the shooting. What had initially been interpreted by some as coincidence was now viewed through a different lens. While none of the material has been verified, the convergence of timing, access, and documentation shifted online discourse toward questions of intent and foreknowledge rather than randomness. Online discourse exploded across platforms as users dissected the implications of the alleged leaks. Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, and Twitter spaces focused on a single question: what did Erika Kirk and members of Turning Point USA know prior to the shooting involving Charlie Kirk? The aftermath of the leaks marked a sharp tonal shift. Accounts linked to Eliza McCoy were deleted, associated profiles locked, and individuals claiming proximity reported that legal and personal pressure was applied to enforce silence. While those closest to the leaks disappeared from public view, organizational messaging escalated. Turning Point USA increased visibility of Micky McCoy through coordinated praise across podcasts, speeches, and appearances. Repetition of laudatory language replaced explanation, creating the impression of reputation management rather than transparent response. Recorded conversations surfaced in which McCoy was reassured, encouraged to ignore speculation, and reminded of organizational objectives. In one exchange, McCoy confirmed placing a call to Erika Kirk shortly after the incident, a statement that further complicated earlier denials. Notably absent was legal resistance. No defamation suits were filed, no cease and desist letters acknowledged, and no documentation released to refute circulating claims. This absence contrasted sharply with the intensity of the allegations. Observers noted that individuals facing false accusations typically respond with evidence or formal action. Instead, the pattern reflected withdrawal paired with controlled messaging. Further scrutiny returned to language patterns identified by Candace Owens. Public references to McCoy consistently included descriptors such as heroic, brilliant, or amazing. This uniform framing stood out, particularly given footage showing McCoy walking away during the immediate aftermath. The contrast between behavior and narrative framing raised questions about intent and preemption. Additional attention centered on Erika Kirk's televised remarks. When asked about accountability, responses emphasized trust in the team rather than confirmation of apprehension. References to evidence and autopsy findings included phrasing that implied multiple actors. Statements rejecting coincidence further fueled interpretation. Owens publicly characterized the situation as an internal failure, citing behavioral anomalies and contradictory timelines. What remains is a convergence of unresolved elements, unexplained footage, conflicting accounts, suppressed voices, and coordinated praise. no definitive conclusion has been reached. However, the accumulation of silence, narrative control, and unanswered questions continues to sustain public scrutiny as the search for clarity persists.